Good evening, my perspicacious Parksosaurus. I was screaming at my phone about all the foreshadowing in Bury Your Tears with the Past, and I can't keep it to myself. You're going to be screaming by the end, too. Vivien is literally a banshee, Lycaon learned his lines, Hugo got a BBL. Please, now we need Vivien and Ellen to vibe so the Ice Daddy's emo daughters agenda can continue to spread their propaganda. For real though, I want to talk about all the setup for part B and the nuggets of foreshadowing for season 2. Starting with a continuation of my Mockingbird theory. I talked about how I feel Mockingbird is inspired by William's visions of Piers Plowman, and I feel that Lycaon represents humility. Now we know Vivien and Hugo fit into this theory too. Hugo is clearly self-sacrifice because he literally sacrifices himself for the plot. Vivien is more complex. I think she's most likely devotion because she is devoted to her Lord Phaethon and her visions. In a more profound sense, she will warn people of her prophetic visions even if it means being ridiculed and bullied. I can pull quotes after part B if you would like. I also think there's another member that they've been alluding to, and if there is, I am predicting she'll be named Wilhelmina after Will's visions and Mina being Dracula's wife. I also think this archetype casts, as a play is important to them because of the theatrical nature of their personalities. We know that Hugo cares about the drama of a situation. It's all about the show he's going to put on. Okay, moving on to the story. We have to talk about the coat. I think it's connected to the Topps family that Sarah is a part of. I also think it's most likely the family behind High Ambition's Jonathan Consortium or Asterism Industries. The more I learn about the game, the more I do think that it's Asterism Industries. Ooh, that's a rough one, but we know it's connected because it has the same motifs that could be seen on Sarah's jacket. The triangle, red lining, and the stitches. We also see the middle triangle on the back, implying that it belonged to the top person in the Top family in Topps. My head is spinning like a top. You cannot tell me it doesn't look like Sarah's jacket, though. The other places we see these motifs are on EOS and the HDD logo. I'm not going bonkers. It's all connected and it's all hiding in plain sight. Oh my goodness. Talk about intense foreshadowing. What if it's Carol Lorna's jacket? What if it is? Hugo has it. We're gonna find out who owns the jacket. Next, the plotline that was being wrapped up, Lycaon's actual betrayal of Hugo. Now, I think in 1.6, Lycaon was showing Hugo how much he's grown and as an act of brotherly love. Gay. The frame after Lycaon drops Hugo shows that Lycaon doesn't have blood on his hand, and the Let's Split Up gang scene just confirms that the plan is something that the proxy is not privy to, and neither is the audience. We're just not allowed to know, but I know Hugo wasn't stabbed. It's all misdirection, and it isn't the type of thing that an artist would mess up on. No matter how sleep-deprived or overworked, they would take the opportunity to have less detail on the hands. I think Belle and Wise are going to get a tape sent to them by Hugo in the beginning of Part B because of what Hugo said about the auction in the first part, Children of Devils. I also think it's all going to come together with a key piece of information being on the tape and learning that, Lycaon learned his lines and he went along with the plan. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. What a way to show Hugo that he's sorry. Lycaon literally learned his lines and he convinced everyone. Now I have to talk about the absolute insane bonkers foreshadowing in the before taking the stage section of Foreshadowing. The writers are so on the nose with this shit, I literally cannot. I love the use of doublespeak and having to use a simple cipher in the dialogue for the main character and player to be able to solve, to understand what he's actually saying. It's also a nod back to the hypoglycemic comment that Hugo makes. It doesn't make sense for him to have low blood sugar because he doesn't do the vampire thing. Where does that make sense? This is what made my brain explode. The nerd in me is having a field day. The first layer of foreshadowing we have is Hugo telling the main character that he is going to die. The second layer of foreshadowing is that he purposefully says the proxies walk in the light, which is the key to this puzzle. He's letting us know that what he's saying isn't entirely true, but when the walls have ears, you must change how you deliver your message. And the third layer of foreshadowing is for the main plot. Asking them how they like being worshipped, again, on the nose. We know they're going to achieve the Void Hunter status by the end of the story now. 10 moments of foreshadowing for it. I'm sure I'll find more, but that sounds like a fun video to make. I'm gonna start my research. We also have more foreshadowing that Carol Arna is connected to the Exaltus and Professor Archie could be the creator. It's also a confirmation that Belle and Wise are directly connected to the creator of the Hollows, and my unhinged theory that they're actually in the hive mind already has a little bit more credibility. The notebook in Belle's room also has me feeling uneasy now, like it has the 4-leaf clover on the top with a postcard on the front. I have a feeling this is Carol Arna's notebook, but either way, this is starting to feel like an anti-mystery, the way the devs are so consistently hiding all of this deep lore in plain sight. Okay, the last thing we have to talk about is the vision that Vivien saw. The wings. We have to talk about the wings and what they symbolize because it's clear yet unclear. We have some clues, but let me show you what I found before I jump to any conclusions. In the High Octane funeral teaser, we see the blackbirds, showing us that the devs are choosing to use blackbirds to represent death and rebirth. But we also see the birds show a reflection of Caesar, and then the cracked glasses. Next we see the Sunflint art moving, and in the last moment, we can see it switch to depicting Phaethon instead of the first Overlord. This can't be a coincidence, and this is what it looks like next to Vivien's vision. They're the same. You cannot tell me they're not the same. At the end of the teaser, we see the quote, "May you rise from the ashes." I think the way it lingers allows it to work for the teaser and to act as foreshadowing for the main plot. Vivien's vision is most likely going to be shown to us as a simple callback to chapter 4 with a little jump scare. It's a very big jump scare, very heartbreaking moment, but that's okay. That's how they're going to do it. We love that trope. Maybe the main character being thrown off a building and caught by another character. Whatever it is, it's still foreshadowing for the main character fake out death that's been alluded to and foreshadowed since the beginning. I don't suspect they'll do it in season 2, but it feels like the epilogue is setting up for the plotline to go to Helios Academy, and the climax of season 2 will be learning about Carol Arna being connected to the Exaltists, working with Tops, and doing experiments on the 4 students. It's also very suspicious that the mayor was friends with her but against Tops. I'm still collecting all the conflicting lore about the mayor to find out what's actually happening and what is misdirection. For now, I think the wings on Phaethon mean they're going to change fate. Vivien laments about only having visions of death, despair, destruction, deception. And I think it's important to note the deception. I'm so curious about the wings because it is a direct response to the version trailer question of like, what would you give up? I think they would sacrifice themselves. So I'm curious about what you think. Let me know if I missed any foreshadowing in Bury Your Tears with the Past. What do you think the wings mean? And if you're a fan of my sliding door behavior, join the Hingeless Herring Goals by booping the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.